Theodore Storm, The Rider on the White Horse, read by Brian Godwin. Biographical note. Hans Theodor Woldson Storm, usually known as Theodore Storm, was born in the small coast town of Husum in Schleswig-Holstein on September 14, 1817. His father was an attorney whose family had for generations been tenants of the old mill in Westermühle, and his mother's family were of the local aristocracy. Influences from his ancestry on both sides and from the country in which he was brought up played an important part in the formation of his sentiments and character. Storm was educated at schools in Husum and Lübeck and studied law at Kiel and Berlin. At Kiel he formed a friendship with the historian Theodor Mommsen and his brother Tycho, and the three published together in 1843 Songs by Three Friends. In spite of his interest in literature, Storm went on with his legal career and began practice in his native town. There, in 1846, he married his cousin, Constance Esmark, and settled down to a happy domestic life. When Storm was born, Schleswig and Holstein were independent duchies, ruled by the King of Denmark. But when they were forcibly incorporated into the Kingdom of Denmark, Storm, who was a strong German in sentiment, felt forced to leave his home. And in 1853 he became assistant judge in the circuit court in Potsdam. The bureaucratic society of the Prussian town was incongenial, and 3 years later he was glad to be transferred to Heiligenstadt in Thuringia. In 1864 Schleswig-Holstein was conquered by Prussia, and though Storm was disappointed that it did not regain its independence, it was at least once more German, and he returned to Husum as Landvogt, or district magistrate, in 1865, and he married as his second wife Dorothea Jensen. Both marriages brought him much happiness. Storm began his literary career as a lyric poet, and his work in this field gives him a high place among the best in a kind in which German literature is very rich. His story writing began with Immensee, 1849, perhaps his best-known work. His early prose shared some of the quality of his poetry in that it sought rather to convey a mood than describe action. But as his talent matured, incident and character stood out more and more distinctly. The progress can be traced from Immensee through At the Castle and At the University to the objective narrative of In the Village of the Heath and At Cousin Christian's. In Eichenhof and Hans and Heinz Kirsch, he is frankly realistic, and the complete evolution from his early subjectivity is seen in the dramatic depicting of human struggles in The Sons of the Senator, Renat, and last.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?